Hello, I'm Hezreel Robertson here on set with Miss Pamela Nichols doing an interview for T1 Radio, Pittsburgh's eclectic, positive, and underground Christian radio. This is All Things Jazz. How are you doing, Miss Pamela?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you again for inviting us into your home and letting us do this interview with you. I've been looking forward to it.
Likewise, thank you.
So the first question I have for you is, I just want you to tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your musical journey.
My musical journey began when I was a child. Like most musicians, I was exposed to music at a really young age. My father was a bass player. I remember my grandmother playing organ and singing, and we always had music on in our house. I remember my first musical instrument was an organ, and it was an organ with chords on one side and keys on the other, and just playing for hours with that organ. And then I remember my father bought me a guitar, so then I started playing guitar, and then I started taking piano lessons, and then, moving up to middle school, it was time to play an opportunity actually to play in a band. I started playing clarinet, and I didn't like the way that sounded in my ears, so I started playing flute. And from there, I added on piccolo and oboe, and I've always loved singing. Always loved singing. My mom sings, my father sings, my brothers sing. We sang in church. I grew up in West Virginia, and the church was really a big part of my upbringing. So, you had to sing in the church choir when you were a kid. So, but it was all good. I remember loving it so much. I remember going to elementary school, and I loved music class. Absolutely looked forward to music class more than any other class. But moving into high school, I continued to play, in the band and in the orchestra. And then once I went off to college, I kind of lost sight of it. Kind of lost my way with it. So, but I did meet a little girl who had a flute, and she wanted to learn to play the flute. So I gave her flute lessons for a short time. Then I lost sight of it. I got married. I had children. Knew something was wrong. There was something missing in my soul.
Okay.
My daughter came home. My oldest daughter actually came home one day and said, "Mommy, I want to play an instrument." I said, "You do? Oh, you're going to play flute." So I pulled out my flute from when I was a little girl, and she began to play and learn it. And then I bought myself another one, and I went through a really difficult time in life, a pivotal thing, a divorce. So I sat down and I wrote my biography. And in my biography, there were these reoccurring things. And I remembered, I started with my first childhood memory, and my first memories of music just came flooding through. So in about 1997, I realized that the thing that was missing in my soul and creating that hole was music. So I began taking vocal lessons, and then I went to the jazz workshop, and just, it goes on from there. I've been in many bands, still trying to feel my way through, but this is where I am, playing music, and I can't believe it. Sometimes I'm in awe. Then I'm like, is that really me? Like if I listen to something that's recorded, I'm like, that's me singing?
So would you say that your father or your family really inspired you to play flute and sing specifically like that?
I would say yes. Because all of my brothers, I'm one of 6 children. My 3, as we call them, my big brothers, played in the band. One played trombone, the other one played drums, and my oldest brother sang. He didn't play an instrument, he was an athlete.
Okay.
And, just their influences. And I remember my father, when he bought their instruments, he told them, "You can't quit. You can't quit." But of all of the children, I'm the only one that stuck with it.
Oh.
Yeah, and still ride with it.
What artist influences your music right now?
Gee, I can honestly say there's a fusion of people. There's just not just one of them.
Okay.
I mean, like, I play flute. I'm a flautist. People are surprised when I get up and play Grover Washington, Mr. Magic. They're like, "What? She's playing Grover Washington on a flute? Really?" But then what I do is, like, I really like Sade. She's like one of my favorite artists.
Okay.
But when I listen to her music, I hear something else in her music that I could add to. So with that, by ear, I can read music too, but by ear, I just pick out things in her music, and I just play my flute to it. I rearrange songs and recreate them and make them my own.
What are some of the goals you have with your music? Where are you trying to go with this?
But here's the truth. And the fact of this matter is that when I started this musical journey again, as a result of me writing my biography and filling in that hole in my soul. So I've never aspired to be famous or make a lot of money. I mean, I go on gigs and I don't take the money. That's not the most important thing for me. Is just expression. I don't know, wherever God leads me in this, because I know that He surely has a hand in here. You know, I am always in awe every time I get up to perform, and, you know, having conversations with people after it. Just, I'm thinking, how did this happen? I don't know, just to get better, you know, just to learn more, just to be out there more.
So how do you feel your music background contributes to your work as an educator?
Well, as an educator, foremost, I'm a college administrator first, and then I'm an adjunct professor of sociology second. And when, you know, sociology is all about behavior and perspectives, on cultural perspectives. And one of the things that I use in my lessons is music. I tie together different cultures like Indian music, African American music, rap music, jazz artists. You know, I impress upon my students that if it weren't for country music, there would be no R&B. You know, country music, you know, is the original rhythm section. You know, the three instruments: the drum, the guitar, or the guitar, the banjo, the bass. And, you know, and I impress upon students that if it weren't for that, there would be no R&B music, and to take it even further, there would be no rap music. I don't always let them know that I'm a musician, and it's something that they discover about me. But I can speak a lot on music, you know, and I try really hard not to stay on it too much. I just try to broaden their understanding of what music really is, and that, you know, just because you are not don't particularly like a particular genre of music doesn't mean that it's not music.
If you could say anything to an aspiring artist who's looking to progress in their training and they want to become a musician, what would you say?
Confidence. You have to have confidence. And I'm not talking about self-esteem, self-confidence. You have to be confident enough to stand in front of a group of people and sing a song or play an instrument and not be afraid to make a mistake. That's why I like jazz so much. Because I like being part of a band. I really enjoy that. But I especially like putting my own twist on music when I sing my solos and play my instruments. It just allows me to be free. You know, sometimes, you know, as a musician, sometimes it's hard to remember, you know, a particular musical line. It's really hard, but, you know, in jazz, you know, I'm just free to just go off and kind of do what I want, but come back. You know, I know how to come back around, you know, and end the song. Stay in the pocket, as they say.
Stay in the pocket.
Stay in the pocket.
Well, thank you, Miss Pamela, for being here on All Things Jazz. I always appreciate it when someone is willing to do an interview with me.
Thanks for having me. Thank you very much.
You've been listening to T1 Radio, Pittsburgh's eclectic, positive, and underground Christian radio. I am Hezreel Robertson, and you've been listening to All Things Jazz. Thank you.